Hey, friends. Hello. Thank you for being here. I got this bright light from my stove behind me. I was just making myself a little matcha latte in the kitchen. Today, I'm going to share something on a similar thread that I've been talking about for a while because it's something that's personal to me and it's something that I feel relates to my life that maybe I can impart onto you and it'll resonate with you and help you on your journey. And a lot of times we have great advice to offer other people because when we step out of our situation or we're helping someone with their situation or trying to help someone with their situation, granted, make sure you're always offering advice when it's asked for, not just, when you want to give it, because a lot of people will just simply give advice and it's not warranted or the person doesn't want it. So, you know, listening is the best way to go initially when someone has some problems that they're sharing with you. A lot of people just want to be listened to. And a lot of men, especially, they like to try to solve the problem or give advice or try to, direct another person. Well, that may be well intended. It's not always the best thing to do because sometimes people just want to be heard. They just want empathy. They just want to feel like they're valid. So remember that. But one thing I want to talk about is healing because it's something we're always doing. Our bodies lose about 10,000 cells every second, and 10,000 more cells every second come into being. So we're in a constant state of nourishing, detoxifying, being born and dying on a cellular level. Just like with every breath, we breathe in life and we exhale toxins and put off CO2. So we are in a state of healing. And for me, it's in a process, and some things that I've done have hindered my growth, have hindered my progress. Being honest with ourselves is sometimes not very easy because of our addictions or our neuro pathways that have for a long time been wiring and firing in such a way that we are not able to, or it feels like we're not able to break the cycle. And we don't even realize that we fell right back into a cycle that we were in until it happens again. So, and then we were like, why does this always happen to me? Why do I always get stuck in this type of a situation in a relationship? Or why do I always keep ending up with this type of person? Well, the common denominator, of course, is you and me, whoever we're talking about, asked this question. And what can we do about it? Sometimes doing what's easy, oftentimes, is not the thing that's going to help us heal. It's not the thing that's going to move us along on our path towards healing. Taking time to ourselves, loving ourselves, learning of the patterns of our behaviors, journaling about them, talking about like, do I need somebody in my life to feel whole? If the answer is, if you're honest about it with yourself, and a lot of people will feel the answer and they'll still just ignore the flags within themselves and then just be like we said before, relationship hopping to fill the void, you're never really going to address the issues that you have. And you're going to continue to bring these issues that you have unhealed, these traumas, these patterns into every relationship that you venture into. And that is going to create problems in that new relationship because an unhealed person will remain unhealed until they step out of relationship with others and start to look in the mirror and face themselves and start to do the work. Not to say that anyone's ever fully healed, and not to say that a person with trauma, which we all are, is not open for love and acceptance. But if you're seeing the same types of patterns playing out in your life, for example, serial monogamy, you're constantly in a relationship, or you have a hard time being alone, you find yourself lonely, you find yourself predicated towards distracting yourself and sort of instead of feeling uncomfortable feelings in your life, numbing yourself. You don't want to get up out of bed. You use food, or maybe you use porn or dating or any sort of addiction, an addiction being any sort of habit that's deleterious or does not serve to get through these situations. then you might want to take a look. We all might want to take a look at why we keep doing the same thing. Now, a good relationship can actually help us. And in some ways, one could argue that being in a relationship with somebody is a form of codependency, but I like to look at it as more interdependency, because each person is giving and taking. There's a level of symbiosis. It's not just one person taking from the other, or this sort of avoidant and anxious attachment style that people have. And what I mean by that is a person that's chasing another person that's running. And these roles can change, but typically there's people who run from tough situations. They don't want to communicate about it. They don't want to work through it. They avoid, because avoiding in the moment is like that addictive behavior. It's easier than facing oneself and the issues that are reflective in the counterpart, the other person that you're with. And so it's easy to find numbness in a new situation, a new person. Novelty, it brings to light new a chemical rush in the mind and the body, hormones, other factors that take place in the body when we're in something new, and everything is always bright and promising, and we tend to overlook red flags oftentimes when we're in a new situation with a new person. But when you get those gut instincts in your present moment to moment, you'll see those more, and then you'll be able to have communication immediately. This meta communication, which I spoke of before, where you're having a conversation about your communication. You're like, when you said this, what did you mean? And it's not about trying to win with your partner or the person that you're in this relationship with, in any kind of relationship. It's about trying to find understanding and helping that person more articulately state their feelings, their case, where they're at, and listening. And that should be a give and take. Now, a lot of times people are triggered because of trauma, because of the way they have unhealed parts of themselves, and they'll just go to someone else. And that other person is like, they're great for a while. But what you don't realize a lot of the times when you get into those situations is that this is emblematic of, it's a reflection of yourself. So what I think about you is not you, it's what I see in you that triggers or brings to light something in myself. And if we understand that, then we can make better choices around our moment-to-moment interactions and our behaviors. And it all starts with thought, because thought dictates behaviors, patterns, actions, and over time, it becomes routine in who we are in our own lives. So anyways, thinking about taking time to yourself to reflect on your own wants and needs and goals, and thinking like not just numbing now with a new partner, a new food, like I said, porn, sex, any kind of addiction, anything that triggers dopamine in the brain, a flood of neurochemicals that feel good right away. But if it's masking unhealedness, like if you're in a relationship with somebody new, but you haven't come to a resolution within yourself about the last relationship, there's unhealedness, there's a lack of communication, there's a lack of resolution. You don't have to have that with the other person, but within yourself, having that resolution. It's good to have it with the other person if the other person's open and willing and it's an amicable departure. Like explaining, keeping secrets and not being honest with yourself usually leads to not being honest with other people. And this snowballs over time, and you're going to see more and more of these issues rear their head in your future relationships. And if we don't address the issues that we have, we're doomed to repeat them. History is always doomed to repeat itself if we don't learn the lessons of what transpired. So just a little food for thought. Be gentle on yourself. Give yourself time. If you haven't fully processed, and sometimes that means a lot of tears, some anger, just letting it out, surrounding yourself with friends, not just people that are going to agree with you, but someone that will just listen to you and be upfront with you and honest with you. If you find yourself not having a lot of friends, or friends constantly leaving your life, and you don't have a solid like group of people, then it may be time to reevaluate why there's this revolving door in your life of people, not just in a romantic relationship, but in any capacity. I know the last couple of years have changed for a lot of people. The world has changed dramatically. So these are very fluid times. These are very revolutionary times to some extent. We're learning a lot about ourselves because the world is changing around us, and there is a shift in consciousness throughout humanity, society, and in our closer circles of people. So I know a lot of people got involved in relationships in like 2020, going into this pandemic or whatever you want to call it, and things keep changing. So it's best to be secure and understanding within before we start to look outward, because the quote from Bruce Lee is, all knowledge is self-knowledge. So if you understand that everything that you understand is a reflection of your inner standing, your self-knowledge, then you'll have a better roadmap to where you're going. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, subscribe or just click like. A comment will help, because I'm trying to get this this channel up off the ground to get more people watching this. I want to offer some of my insights through my life. I'm not obviously a licensed therapist, a doctor. I'm just a human being that had human experiences, a human doing. And I thank you for being here. Have a beautiful day. Talk soon. God bless. Peace.